everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Amy, and this week we're making a dish that you may not think of right off the top of your head when you think of comfort foods. It's sweet, it's spicy, it's tangy with a hint of savory goodness. And when it's served with rice and veggies, this dish just makes you feel better if you're a little under the weather with an early autumn cold. And let me tell you, the heat will definitely clear out your sinuses. So let's cook up some sweet chili chicken. Now first things first, we are using frozen veggies, but we need to thaw them out. So make sure to pull those out of the freezer a little while in advance. Okay, let's make some sweet chili sauce. And I had no idea that making this sauce was actually as easy as it is. We start by mincing up 1 clove of garlic, and then we're gonna move to the stove. In a small saucepan, add a 1/2 cup of water, a 1/2 cup of rice vinegar, a 1/4 cup of sugar, our 1 minced garlic clove, and some red pepper flakes. How much really depends on how hot you want this to be. If you want this sauce to burn your taste buds off, drop in 2 full teaspoons of red pepper flakes. Now I went with just over 1 teaspoon because I want some heat, but not the kind of spicy that you end up paying for the next couple of days. Give this a little stir so the sugar's incorporated, and then bring this up to a simmer, stirring pretty often to keep the sugar from scorching as it heats. Simmer it for 5 minutes, and then we're going to add a cornstarch slurry to thicken it up. We need 1/8 of a cup of cool water and 1 to 1.5 teaspoons of cornstarch. Mix this in a separate little container and pour it into the simmering sauce. Bring the sauce back up to a boil and boil it for a maximum of 1 minute, stirring it constantly so the sauce doesn't stick and burn. Pull it off the heat when the sauce has thickened a little, but keep in mind that the sauce will continue to thicken more as it cools. If you really like thick sauce, boil it for a little longer, but if you like your sauce thinner, then only boil it for about 30 seconds. Now we're just going to set this to the side to cool. Quick tip, you can actually make this stuff at any time because this will store in the fridge for a couple of months. It may separate a little, but it just needs a good shake and it's good as new. However, if you don't have the time or the ability to make your own sweet chili sauce, you can always just use this. When the sauce is cool enough to handle, we're gonna make our marinade for our chicken. To a medium-sized bowl, add a 1/4 cup of soy sauce, 3 tablespoons of honey, 2 tablespoons of lime juice, which is about 2 limes worth, a 1/4 teaspoon of ground ginger, and 1/2 to 1 cup of our sweet chili sauce. Mix this all up so it's well combined, and now we add our chicken. I'm using 2 decent sized chicken breasts here, and the tenderloins were still attached, so I just used those 2. Add them to the bowl, move them around, flip them over, whatever, just make sure that all the sides of the chicken are coated in the marinade. Cover this with plastic wrap or a lid, pop it in the fridge, and let this marinate for at least 30 minutes. While the chicken's marinating, let's get started on our rice. I'm using a rice cooker, so this is about as easy as rice gets. And here's another little tip. Cooking rice in broth or stock is so much tastier than just plain water. I started with 2 cups of homemade chicken stock and added 2 scoops of the little scooper that came with the rice cooker, which I think is about 3/4 of a cup of dry rice per scoop. I also add a pinch of salt because I don't add a lot of salt when I make stock, so I can add salt to taste when I'm cooking with it. Then I give everything a good stir so the rice isn't just sitting in the middle in a pile, and set my cooker to make it for me. Yay, rice done! It's been 30 minutes, so let's get our chicken cooking, and this is a 2-step process. I'm going to start on the stove and then finish in the oven, so I preheated my oven to 425 Fahrenheit. Pull the chicken out of the fridge and heat an oven-safe skillet on the stove over medium-high heat. When the pan is nice and hot, add about a tablespoon of oil, and when the oil is shimmery, add the chicken. But be careful because this part can be a little splattery. Now, all we're doing is giving this chicken a quick sear, maybe a minute on each side. Don't leave it longer or you risk burning the marinade on the chicken. As soon as you have a quick sear on both sides, pour the marinade remaining in the bowl into the skillet with the chicken and pop all of that right in the oven. I also sliced the chicken breast in half, you can see here, which I probably should have done in the beginning, but hey, we're all learning new things, right? Bake the chicken for about 20 minutes or until the chicken reaches 165 Fahrenheit. Last is our veggies, which should be completely thawed by now. If they are really wet, take some paper towels and just pat dry some of the excess water. They don't need to be completely dry, we just don't want them dripping water from being frozen. I'm using a bag of stir-fry veggies I had in my freezer, but you can use any kind you like. Spread them all out on a parchment lined baking sheet so they're in a flat layer. Season them with salt, pepper, whatever seasonings are your family's favorites, and then give them a good spray with some oil. I'm using an olive oil spray here, but you can also toss them with some oil and seasonings in a bowl if you like. These roast in the oven at 425 for about 15 minutes or until the veggies start to brown. All right, chicken is done. The chicken needs to rest for about 10 minutes, so that gives us plenty of time to cook our veggies. And after 15 minutes, our veggies are nicely roasted and dinner is ready. Check out that nice little char on those veggies. It is just perfect. So there are two ways that we could eat this. We could just dump it all in a bowl and chow down, and while that would taste just as good, because it's gonna all get mixed up in our stomachs anyway, or we could be all fancy pants about it. Okay, just for fun, let's be all restaurant fancy about this. Slicing my chicken up so I can do that little fan of chicken type thing where all the slices are on the top or the side and they look like that perfect little sliced up chicken breast. Now I'm going to use a little bowl and pack the rice in there so I can make that perfect cute little shaped pile of rice in the middle of the plate. We're going to fan out our chicken, we're going to add our beautiful veggies around the side, and we'll top it all off with a drizzle of our homemade sweet chili sauce, and dinner is served. Okay, so this version of sweet chili chicken may not be the crispy breaded kind you see at a Chinese restaurant, but wow, this is good. That chicken almost has a crust on it from searing it in the pan, and the meat is so tender and juicy. The veggies have that beautiful browning, and they're not mushy at all, which happens so many times with frozen vegetables. And the rice, it has a lovely savory chicken flavor that is a perfect complement to the sweet and spicy sauce. And let me tell you, this definitely has some heat to it. If you like spicy, you're gonna love this. That sauce is tangy from the vinegar, spicy from the pepper, savory from the soy sauce, sweet from the sugar. It's like all my taste buds rolled into one sauce, which is absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please like and subscribe, it really helps my little channel to grow. And leave a comment if you enjoyed this video or if you have a favorite comforting food you'd like me to make. Make sure to come hang out with me on Wednesdays for my exploration series. We're rounding out our road trip this week with some classic Tex-Mex tacos. I hope you have a fabulous week, and I'll see you here next Sunday for some more cozy home-cooked comfort food. Bye!